So we've arrived at a place in our human history where there is no hope. And this may be the first time in our human history when there is indeed hope. Because 100 years ago, when we believed that there was hope, when we believed in science, and we believed in our philosophies, and we believed in our histories, and we believed in our mathematics, and we believed in our psychology, this period of our history, when we thought there was hope in these pathways, even when we believed in our spirituality, when we believed in our religion, when we believed in our political systems, when we believed in our economic models, when we believed either in capitalism or communism, when we believed in democracy, when we had hope in these pathways, this indeed was a time of hopelessness. There is no system that can help us now, and this is a very challenging place for us to arrive at, because the mind, or more accurately, the mental body, seeks to have a way forward that it can understand, something that it can grasp, something that it can hold on to. And anything we try to hold on to is something that we know, and all that we know is what comes from the past. The only thing we can do if we try to mentally grasp onto what is happening to us now is to reach back and hold onto something we already know, which is the past. And the past has shown clearly that it cannot help us. It doesn't have the answers. It doesn't even have the clues. And this is evident now as we watch the world and how it turns on itself, whether it turns on itself economically, politically, or religiously. The chaos is the only clue as to what is happening. The conflict is the only clue as to what is happening. What is happening to us is that love is coming, and we don't know what this means. God is love, love is God, and love is coming. Love is flowing towards us. Love and the word evolve, these are the same words. In fact, to understand truly what love is to understand that when we open ourselves to what love is, we open ourselves to evolution. And the evolution we're about to go through now is so vast that nothing in our past can tell us about this new state of being or new paradigm or new dimension, whatever we want to conceptually call the shift. Nothing about our past can tell us about what this is going to be like. We can't plan it, we can't control it, we can't sedate it, because it's not about us as individuals and what we like and what we're comfortable with. In fact, me, who I am, is going to be destroyed by it. I'm not going to make it because I is not part of it. It's a we thing. We are moving forward, and those who stay in an I place, they will get destroyed by it. There is nothing that I can take with me into this new state of being. Nothing from my world can come with me except love, except the willingness to evolve, the willingness to embrace what I don't know, the willingness to be open to becoming more than I possibly can understand myself to be. In many ways, this is very frightening, especially for the mental body, because the role of the mental body is over. It's over, and there is nothing either in the physical world that can assist us to go there, to make this leap, except the body that we are in. The body that we are in is the vehicle that will assist our consciousness to be elevated into this new state of being. And the only way that we can participate in this process, this procedure, is through feeling, through the heart center. And we're going to be required to feel everything. We are now going to move through everything we have ever resisted, everything we have ever judged, misinterpreted, belittled, thought of as not being part of God, condemned in any way. Everything. We are going to have to move through feeling those and embracing those and integrating those as part of who we are. The place of standing in a perception that says, this is not who I am. there is no longer room for that, because I do no longer matter. I am going to be eradicated. What I want, what I think, what I believe is no longer of any importance. My opinion no longer counts, because this leap is about our experience. This is going to happen to us as a whole. And those of us that cannot relinquish our personal agendas, an agenda is an interesting word, age-ender. Having a personal agenda is what will destroy our ability to enter this new paradigm of awareness. So it can be really scary when we are holding on to plans, intentions that are personally orientated. And so this is the place we arrive at, really a place of hopelessness, when all that we have done has brought us to this point but can take us no further. And only those of us that are prepared to embrace this hopelessness and to surrender. Surrender is another interesting word. And being sure, only those of us that are prepared to surrender to the energetic experience that is unfolding and not to fight it. And you see, this is the thing. The mental body will try to control and sedate this shift. This means the mental body will attempt to fight what is happening, and the mental body will attempt to make physical changes and to physically move things around and to run into physical bomb shelters and basements and to build physical fortresses and to accumulate physical stuff and to make physical rules and build physical borders and take physical medications to try and alleviate the sudden shifts of the energy. But nothing will work. In fact, all this behavior will cause self-destruction, and it's meant to. If there is one thing human beings are meant to realize now, it's that this is the end of this state of being. It can't serve us anymore. There are no UN resolutions or diplomatic solutions that can alleviate the shift. It's coming. And so what do? And really, there is something we can do, although it's not a doing, as in going out and trying to fiddle physically with the outer world, or even mentally trying to comprehend and understand. The doing, the action is internal. And the greatest action we can take right now, right here, is to feel as fully as possible what it is we are going through, because our feelings are not individual, even though we may perceive them personally. You see, this is what we do. When this energy moves through us, we personalize it. We personalize it into fear, into anger, and into grief. And we attach it to our personal history. In other words, as this energy flows through us, we try to equate it to something that happened in the past. But this won't serve us, because this is not true. And not only is it not true, but there is nothing personal about it. God is not personal when it comes to evolution. God is so expansive that the idea of personal, of me, of individual, of I doesn't exist, and it can't exist anymore. So the key is to allow ourselves to feel exactly what is going on with us, exactly, in each moment. This is the discipline. This is the pathway, not of outer doing, but of inner action. And the action to take is just to feel the feelings and allow ourselves to feel anything and everything that flows through us. In other words, no resistance to the energy. This is the pathway. And to be comfortable with the idea that we are going to be, as an individual consciousness, we are going to be eradicated. And this is so hard. The mental body has a personality, has an idea about itself, has a concept about the past and the future, and believes that without these there is nothing. There will be nothing as we know it to be from an individual point of view. And this is so hard for us to allow. How do I consciously allow who I think I am, who I physically perceive myself to be according to my physical appearance and the stuff I have gathered around me? How do I sit still silently and allow this to be eradicated? How do I consciously allow this? This means coming face to face with my own death, about dying consciously to the world that I have built around myself. Because really, what have I done? I'm sitting in the midst of eternity, and I have erected a little fence around me and call this me, myself, and I. And I have protected everything inside this fence from everything outside. What a ridiculous state of being I am in. And so God is coming, love is coming, evolution is coming, and as it flows in, all fences that have been built are going to be washed away. And it appears as if we are losing something so important, my identity, who I think I am, everything I have built myself up to be. But really, this personal identity is what is stopping me from becoming all that is my destiny, which is an our state of being, an us state of being, a we state of being, all inclusive. Probably the most profound discipline we can adopt at the moment is to do nothing outwardly other than what is required of us to continue with our daily activities, because this is going to happen where we are, whether we're attending to a child, whether we are filing cabinets at work, whether we are a barista making coffee, whether we are walking up a street, whether we are running a large corporation or a country. We are not exempt from any of this. And there is no place that we have to go to allow this to happen. This shift, this internal transformation is happening to us in each moment wherever we are. So it's not about removing ourselves from our ordinary day-to-day activities. In fact, it is most beneficial for us to embrace these ordinary day activities with even greater presence, so that we enter this world at a place of deep feeling and integrate everything that's happening to us wherever we are. This is really the only practice that can assist us now. If we think going off on some spiritual path, or leaving our present relationship or family situation or work situation and going somewhere else in some remote place, or surrounding ourselves with some specific group of people, can help us at the moment, this is a delusion. This is running after an illusion. This is to enter in authenticity. The most authentic state of being that we can adopt right now is to be where we are placed in the moment, and to feel this moment with no judgment. And when the judgments come up about this moment, and I say to myself, this shouldn't be happening to me, this is not what I want, to realize that all these thoughts and concepts and interpretations about the energy that we are moving through, this is what is in my way of evolving, because I'm now being asked to embrace everything that is happening to me, and to embrace it equally, and to allow it to impact me whatever way it's going to, because feeling it, the feeling of it, is what enables me to evolve. Evolve. In other words, these feelings, not my thoughts about them, not what I physically go and do about them, but what I feel. These feelings are taking place within me. These feelings, the more I can allow myself to feel everything, the more I become, until a point that I transcend the I-ness. It's through the feeling that I embrace the expansiveness of we, of our, of us. Because the reality is, if I am standing in any place in my life having a particular feeling going through me, if I could open myself up and perceive what was happening all around me, what I would realize is that everyone around me is going through that exact same energetic experience, except that each person that is going through that energetic experience is placing their personal interpretation, personal history upon it, and therefore believing that they are all going through individual experiences and therefore reacting to them according to what happened to them when they went through these experiences in the past, or reacting to them according to the nature of the interpretations they are placing upon them, and therefore all reacting differently. And therefore when we look around ourselves, it looks as if everyone is having their own individual experience. But this is the illusion, and to behave as if I am having an individual experience, that is to enter the deluded state. The fact is, whatever I am feeling in each moment is exactly what everyone else is feeling around me. It is through the feeling that I connect with the unity consciousness. It is through the feeling that I connect with us, with we, with our. Through allowing myself to feel the energetic experience, the energy in motion, and not telling myself stories about it, because all the stories are not true, and none of them can assist me to move into unity consciousness. The stories can only anchor me in the past, in a state of separation. And if I insist on staying in that separated place, there is no way that I can evolve, because I cannot evolve into a we. I must die to become a we. I must die to my individual perception, to my history, to my story, to my history. His story, his being the mental body, the male-dominated perception. History must die. Now we must enter the we, the our, the us. And there is no way of knowing how to do this in a means of calculating it. Because the mind will go, okay, this is, and I get this, I want to be a we, so this is how I'm going to do it. Tomorrow I'm going to do this, and the next time I'm going to do that, and I will check to see how I'm doing according to these parameters. Forget it. Surrender. There is nowhere to go, and there is nothing to do but feel. Feel. Allow the feelings to enter. Allow ourselves to feel everything all the time, because only those of us that feel without interpretation, that feel without judgment, that feel everything, will become aligned with everything. If we allow ourselves to feel what everyone is going through, in other words, the energy that has no personal interpretation to it, when we allow ourselves to feel everyone, we become everyone. When we allow ourselves to feel what is happening to us, we become us. And this is the shift that we are now being invited to experience. Taking a side is death. Having an opinion is death. Defending anything is death. But being in the moment and embracing it and responding to it with alertness, with consciousness, with love for it all. This is life. This is the life that is awakening upon this planet. A life that has always been here, but hidden from us because we had gone so mental. And many have experienced this and have evolved through it individually. And what the mind does is take them, turn them into religious figures, and create organized religions and systems out of what they have tried to express to us. But now this is not happening to just a few individuals scattered through human history. This is happening to us all. This is the hope. And that's why when human ways, when human systems, when human politics, when human economics, when human religious systems, when human spiritual paths hit a dead end, when they show us no more hope, then indeed we can embrace authentic hope. The moment the human world as it is now reflects hopelessness back to us, the moment we see no pathway through our present state of humanity, then we are opening ourselves to the hope within us. There is nothing out there in the world, no thing, no stance, nothing that can take us forward. Nothing. And that's why we live in such an awesome time, and it's accelerating, and none are immune. This is our time for us when we become a new species.